Hello, everyone. Welcome to Kiki and Kibitz. It's me, Mary, and I'm here tonight on this Manic Monday with Crime Story, Episode 5, Destiny and Mike. And who else would be recapping Destiny's episode with me than Sarah and Shawn? Thank you.
Hello.
Hey, thank you so much for joining me. So, Shawn, what have you thought about the crime story so far?
Most of that, I kind of, or the crime stories, yeah, I say most of this, it's been pretty good. Like, I actually think that, I think it's kind of good. Yeah, we kind of know their story, in it, but you didn't, this is like more of a deep dive into it. And I kind
Right.
of, just to kind of see how, I guess, how it really started. Me being on the other side, I know people that was on,
Mm-hmm.
the wrong side of the law a lot, but it just kind of just to see their perspective, what they're thinking, what's going through their minds, like why, I made a lot of money through high school and all that, but I did mine by other ways, like buying and selling cars or just hustling all the time, but a different way. And
Right.
even though that, I had friends that, did all that, I kind of did it the other way, but
Right, exactly. Yeah, so Sarah and I have been really into it because we feel
Yeah.
it kind of like puts the pieces of the puzzle together.
right. Yeah.
Because sometimes like watching like during the season and how they interact in their relationships, now seeing the backstory, it all
It
makes
makes sense.
Right. And you kind of, yeah, because they don't really go in the show part. They don't kind of really get into it that much. They talk about it a little bit, but I don't, like I said, it's kind of more of a deep dive. I don't know. I like it.
yeah,
I like all these kind of crime stories. I listen to a lot, being in
yeah.
the truck all day long.
But it seems like a lot of people don't like it because they want the drama of the
I think they like the
Yeah.
relationship part of it.
yeah,
And I noticed on them, they're not really showing too much of relationships. Honestly, Destiny's was the most I seen an interaction with a relationship the whole time.
exactly. Yeah.
Even Justine wasn't in on Michael's or nothing.
No, no.
But in order to get her to film, they probably had to agree to let him film at the time because she's a monster when it comes to filming. I mean, he would know.
Right. Yeah,
I
and
mean,
that's kind of how I've always known. Desi always has to have that person around, or any of the other people she was with, and
Right,
when we
right.
had a film, she had to have that other person there because they, I guess they think it's going to be more, than just filming or whatever. I don't know, but it's kind of, one of those things.
Yeah,
yeah, she's
yeah.
how she is.
So let's talk about Mike first. Because I can't believe him and his dumbass over $10.
Oh, God.
So there's like a common theme: growing up poor,
Mm-hmm.
basically starting off like stealing and doing side hustles to survive.
Dad's not around is another one I'm seeing a lot. Dads are not around. The moms are working all the time, so that leaves all of them alone by themselves. That's
Right.
a common theme I've seen amongst all of
And it's
them.
funny that you guys, I say that, picked that route, and I picked a different route, but I kind of had the same thing. My dad wasn't around. I had to get a job when I was 13, but all mine was, yeah, I mean, getting a job at 13 wasn't really, I would say, legal at that time, you know what I mean? But I got paid cash under the table, but it was kind of legal in the sense of what I say, you guys, you know what I mean? But
Yeah.
I hustled all the time. I always had money. But I did it the legal way, you know what I mean?
Right.
So it's funny
It
that your
just,
minds went that way, and you can't say that no dad being around, because my dad wasn't really around. Went to prison. So
yeah.
I had to step up for my mom and my
I
brothers and
mean,
sisters.
but
And it's just kind of,
stuff affects people differently, though. Like, it's not just the not dads being around. Like, that's just part of it. A lot of the parents were also doing drugs. Like, there's more factors, but I've noticed that that's been like a lot of them have said
Common
that.
denominator, like a common
Mm-hmm.
denominator amongst everyone. And
Yeah.
like with the woman, another like common factor has been sexual.
Sexual assault.
Yeah,
Yeah. I've seen that with all the women that's been on there.
yeah, yeah.
It's
So
sad how much that happens and how much, that messes with you mentally. And drugs are an escape. They just are. And not everybody can just get through things. Like, if you don't have the money to go to therapy is about the only thing that's going to help you besides drugs.
right.
And when you're 13 and you're living a shit life and you're poor and everything else, you think therapy is an option? No, but drugs are,
Right. Yeah.
unfortunately.
Fortunately.
Yeah,
So
that's the route my cousins all went. So all my cousins, we all lived together, and they
Right.
kind of went that route, and I went a different route. I think I went the different route. I think because of them. My cousin Dean always told me if I touched the shit, he was gonna beat the shit out of me. He's about 3 years older than me.
Okay.
So but we all lived together. Like my cousin Dean, like he threw away his whole life. He was like he could have been in the NFL. Like he was that good. He had a whole bunch of college scholarships. It's one of the good high schools that he went to, and he threw it all away his senior year for drugs and just got mixed up with the wrong people. And he goes and see his best friend. I forget who went to the same high school. Like he was a good wide receiver, Randall McDaniel or something like that. He played
Right.
alongside him. You know what I mean? So it was just kind of to see which route he goes. And then my other cousin in the New York Mafia type deal. You know what I mean? And then he got mixed up in the wrong part of crime.
how'd you turn out so
So
good then, huh?
because of that, because I see how much they got in trouble and
Exactly. And
how
he's,
so
I'm
when you
not
have
with that.
you have older siblings that kind of come before you. The schools are already, oh great, another Osborne, whatever. But I was like, no, I'm not like that, and I purposely turned myself to where I wasn't like that. It wasn't nothing bad against my cousins or what. To each their own. However they want to live their life is how they live their life. I live my life how I want to live my life. You know what I mean? When I was 18, I moved out. Then I moved right back in when I was 20 because you hurt my back, so I had no choice. But it's kind of one of those things where I just kind of and maybe that's kind of a little bit of my problem. Like I'm distanced all the time because I just rather I know what I do. You know what I mean? I don't want to be in trouble. I don't want to do worry about that or look over my shoulder. Had to look over my shoulder a lot with Destiny, but that's beside the point.
Yeah, I know.
With a lot of threats, a lot of
Yeah.
you guys only knew half of it.
Yeah.
There's a lot they didn't show on that.
Yeah,
But
We'll get there. We'll get
Yeah.
there.
anyway,
We're
sorry.
gonna get there. We're gonna cover Mike first, and then we're gonna get all into the Destiny tea because I want to hear it. I definitely want to hear it. So
Yeah.
so basically Mike's mom moved to the Virgin Islands when he was like 8 or something because
Yeah.
to get as far away from his father. And then she wind up shipping him to his father in New York when
I,
he was like 14.
yeah.
And then that's when he really started drug dealing. Like he saw these kids his age, better clothes, better sneakers. They had
Yep.
money,
It's
and
always the shoes.
yep, it's always the shoes.
I would have liked to known a little bit more about the dad though.
Yes, me
Like
too.
it seems like the dad wasn't necessarily not in his life. It just was like the mom and him maybe didn't get along. Was
Exactly.
seemed
Yeah.
like the issue.
Mhm.
Like maybe the dad was kind of the mellow one, didn't want to deal with it when he started getting in trouble. So here, let the mom worry about it. I have enough to worry about, and it's kind
Or
of like,
vice versa, because she shipped him off.
well, then he shipped them back when he started hanging around the wrong crowd. Remember?
Yeah.
No. Yeah, that's what
Yeah,
happened. Okay.
yeah. Then
I
he
missed
went
that part.
back. So maybe they
Yeah.
just didn't know how to deal with them.
Yeah.
Maybe he was rough and
Because
You
know.
take him for a few years, I'll take him for a few
Yeah.
years.
yeah, because from like
He's a fool again.
14 to 18, he was with his father, and then his father shipped him back to Rhode Island because his father's like, "You're hanging out here with these hooligans," and
That's where he got that word.
And he probably and his father was probably thinking of he was doing the right thing.
Right.
Like, hey, I want to send you away before you get in trouble, before you do all that. And it just kind of happened that maybe, Rhode Island's kind of more, more poor, I guess. You know what I mean? I guess is the only way to say it, and
right.
so then it kind of had no choice and it pushed him in farther when it was probably the wrong, like he probably would have did better there, man. Who knows? You don't even
I
know.
mean, he says that he got a taste of it in New York, and when he got
Mhm.
to Rhode Island, it was like bam.
It was probably easier there because it's smaller and it's
Exactly.
kind of more
Yeah. So he went full
widespread.
time.
Yep.
He went full time in Rhode Island, and then he started getting like a clientele of like doctors and lawyers and therapists and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So his first arrest was basically over $10 because he was just so greedy, living
That
this fast lifestyle, wanted every fucking penny. So he set up a deal, got lazy, set it up a couple of blocks away from his house.
mm-hmm.
Okay. The chick gets out of the car, which she wasn't supposed to get out of the car. So they're
They
doing
never listen.
the whole transaction in public. And then he realizes that she short him $10. And instead of just chalking it up and saying, "Ah, fuck it," I just made a $500 transaction or
Yeah.
whatever the fuck it was. Just chalk it up because he had a 350 minimum. So
Right.
let's 350. So instead of
Mhm.
chalking it up, no, she had to come back around, throw the fucking $10 at him, and guess what?
I know the cops seen him. What I mean, I would have understood it if it was like $50. fifty
Right,
dollars, I probably would have done the same,
right.
because that's different. But $10,
I kind of
come
took it
on.
though when he was telling a story like that girl set him up, like because that's why she got out of the car. That's why she didn't go, and the
Maybe
cops were
she
out there.
did.
Like
That was kind of
it kind
sketchy.
of seemed like me watching from the outside, not being in that type of world at all. I
Right.
seen it like that girl set him up and was purposely,
Forgot the money because she knew he would say something.
yeah,
Maybe
or I think the cops were going to do that anyways, and they set her up to say, look, and maybe they gave her some kind of like easy off or something like that.
a
And
lot of times that'll happen.
Yeah.
mhm.
Even he probably could have got away with it if he would have gave up his
Gave up.
his
Yeah.
dealer.
He was
They
all about protecting his crew.
And
So
that's how. I mean, I respect him for that though.
Yeah,
Like I give him, he
props for
didn't just
that,
look.
but that's about it.
yeah, exactly. So he gave consent. They searched his house and they found the stash in the sneaker boxes.
Yeah.
As he was making all this money, he was buying sneakers and then he would use the boxes to stash away money and the drugs and stuff. So they took all his sneaker boxes. He served 6 months and then did the 6.5 walk off of his sentence,
Yeah.
which is like being on conditional parole, basically, like under
Yeah.
supervision. So
Yeah.
he did that. Okay, he was straight. And then the second arrest, that's when he got 6 years. So he basically admits that he was greedy, living like the fast lifestyle, and that's
Mhm.
what fucked him up in the end.
Yep. It usually does.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, for some people, because it doesn't seem like he really did drugs. He just sold
Oh,
it.
yes.
So that was his high.
Yes.
You, like I've said in the past, you get addicted to the lifestyle.
Yes.
That's a whole nother high that's different from the drug high.
And also the thing with him is that he liked to brag. I think that's another thing that was kind of
Yeah.
like high for him, being able to
Flashy.
brag, flashy, look what I got, and ultimately that's what took him down because he started rapping basically about his transactions and what he had and stuff like that, thinking nobody was listening to this and taking notes. So that's what ultimately brought him down.
You're
Being
gonna have haters when you're driving a different fucking car every day and wearing different shoes
thank
and
you. And the
being petty over a
yeah,
couple bucks.
yeah,
I used to drive a different car every day to school. I had a pager and everything. They used to think I
Oh,
was doing drugs. Selling drugs, but it wasn't. It was just my job. I had a good job, and they let me take home a car. It was a different car every day. I had to go around. We had security at our school, and I go around the security guards. Oh, you doing drugs? No. Well, why's your pager going? Don't worry about my pager. But it was only my work time. I had somebody to pick up. So
Oh gosh. Oh
oh,
gosh. Yeah, so Mike is a family man now.
yeah.
As
I
we
mean, good
see.
for him. Good for him. Like you turn your life around, and like Sarah, I'm always good to see, the success. It was hard. You know what I mean? I know it wasn't easy for her. I've gotten into it with her parole officer. I've gotten into. I had to step in, and she getting all scared and yelling at me. What are you talking to her like that? Because they try to do too much, and
Yeah.
then they're gonna push you back into that lifestyle. And
Right.
I had to kind of get into her parole's office. Like literally, I got into her face and told her to stop. Because they wanted her to get a job. She had a job. She did all this, but she was so overwhelmed. And I told her, I said, look, she doesn't need to work right now. Let that slide. And it was like a big. Sarah used to always tell me she made sure that when her parole came, I was not there because I told her parole officer how it was. But you
I
have
had a
to.
scary parole officer. She was a little chick, but she was mean. Oh my gosh, she
Oh
was mean.
God.
But once I would say for maybe I was on for 2.5 years. So I would say the first year
Right.
and then after that, I think she realized, I'm one of the ones she doesn't have to worry about. Then she would come for like 60 seconds or less.
Okay.
After this whole first, shebang
Right.
went off and he did what he did. And she's seen, I was passing my test. I was going to my therapies and doing all my things. And yeah, she
I
let
told
me
her,
off early.
I told
I
her it's
mean,
her fault that these people go back to prison and back into that lifestyle. And
they do. They want you to do
because they
so
want you
much
to do
stuff.
so much when you get out, you're so overwhelmed. Like, stop. Like, how are you going to do all the stuff that you want to do? Like, stop. Take your pit. Let get comfortable with one thing, or
Right.
give you 6 months, not right away. I mean, I told her flat
At
out.
a time. Yeah.
Yeah, I told her flat out. I was like, you're the reason why these people go back into the same cycle again.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, why don't you try something different and then see what happens? She
Right.
looked at me. I thought she was going to get mad, and Sarah just told me to leave, and so I just left. I bit my tongue. I said what I had to say, and I left. But you know what? It worked. So
Yeah.
she probably understood what I had to say. So, and
Yeah.
look, 2.5 years she got off. And I wasn't on. I didn't keep Sarah bottled up or nothing like that. I just made sure, she made promises to me that she wouldn't, deal with the old people that she dealt with before, and we'll kind of take it step by step. If she had a problem, then and it was hard. But I just
Yeah.
let her do her own thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The not associating with old people is probably the number one thing.
And that was the whole thing with her story.
Mm-hmm.
Destiny was hanging out with this guy that she used to get out with.
Yep. She looked, I personally think, because you seen when she got out with him, she had some weight on her. She looked sober. She looked good. You know what I mean? Like she looked healthy. Now and throughout what the ending of their season and stuff, when all that, like you've seen her slowly progressing back, and now she looks worse than ever.
Yes.
Like, man.
Yeah, Destiny looks rough. I hate to say it. She does.
They were blowed. 100%. I can tell because I've been there.
Right.
She was high while she was filming. I guarantee it. Guarantee it.
I wouldn't be surprised.
I'm telling you, you can see it. I can see it in the eyes because I've been that person. So I know that look.
Right.
And she does. She had the same drug that I did. Like her drug of choice is also my drug of choice. So I know.
Right.
I know. Just trust me.
So one thing you didn't know about before watching Destiny's episode was mailboxing.
Yeah, I was like, what is that? I guess, like I was telling Mary earlier, that just wasn't my crowd, I guess. I never knew anything about the forgeries or mailboxing, I mean, I might have, when I was like a little 10-year-old kid with my brother, I might have found somebody's birthday card or something, you know what I mean? Like the mailbox is already peeking open and there's like a 20 in there and we're like gonna go get our candy and our chips and stuff. But that's like the worst that I've ever, as far as like that type of thing, a mailbox, like that's so crazy to me that you could, I mean, it's kind of genius in a fucked up way because like, is that how people get, like the scams and stuff? Like that's crazy. Like, that people can do that. And then taking the razor blade and all that shit, like that takes some serious, I don't know how she does it dope sick because you shake. So I'm like, she must do that shit, stack them up while she's high and concentrate it. Cause when you're sick, there's no way
or
she's
never
cutting
let
that
herself
out.
get sick.
Or never let herself get sick because I'm telling you, there ain't no way.
Oh my
There's
God.
no way.
But I can't believe she was doing that on fucking national TV. Where's that? Afford to fucking jail? Like, are you kidding me?
She was like, yeah.
Well, now she'll get a lot more people in trouble because now the cops will be on to how she did it,
Right? Oh my God.
It's just, and two, you do start to feel comfortable. You get away with stuff. You feel comfortable. It's like I said, I was never in the forgery part, but the selling drugs part was what I got wrapped up in.
Right.
And yeah, you do the stuff and you get away with it for so long. You're like, well, nobody's paying attention to little old me here in this nowhere town, like nobody's worried about me. They're worried about them big guys. Well, actually they are worried about you because
they are.
Yeah, they want the big guys. So to get to the big guys, they think they come to you.
Small guy.
Yeah, that's how,
Like she said, it became so easy. It was like signing autographs.
I know.
And it's always somebody that tells on you that get in trouble. That's what I've noticed. It's always somebody.
That's what got her too.
Yep.
With the car.
And that too. She might have got set up.
No, she did get set up. Somebody got out.
No, I know, but I believe she would have got caught regardless over the car. Like that kind of just like two things exist at the same time. You know
Right.
what I mean?
Right.
I think she was getting in trouble for that car. There's no way at some point they're not
Somebody's
just
trying to miss $28,000.
yeah, they're gonna go to
No.
cash that shit, and it's either gonna come out of whoever's bank or whatever number she used or
Right.
whatever.
That was a big thing. I want to say probably about 10 years ago on the West Coast, people get cashier's checks and all that. And I don't know if it was big out here, but it was. I had people all the time say, "Hey, you want to make $5,000 here? Just do this real quick. I'll give you a cashier's check." And I'm like, "No, I don't want no part of that. Like if it bounces in my, oh, it's not going to bounce. I guarantee it won't bounce. It'll clear in 3 days." It was clearing in 3 days, but I never did that because I don't want that.
How do you know?
Because the people that other people has done it, like it's
Yeah.
cleared. You know what I mean? So I don't know.
Just kidding.
I don't know if it ever came back later on, but I knew that it passed the bank and it passed all the thing, and it was a big thing with I want to say it was through like Navy Federal Credit Union or something like that. It was
Yeah.
like one of the military, like the credit unions,
Right. The military.
and somehow they were letting them go through or something, and I don't know how. I don't know where they got these checks at. I don't know how, if anybody got caught, but it was really big. So I don't know if that was like a West Coast thing where the people got away with that, or if it was here on this side of town too. But I don't know. But I'm just saying, like that was
10 years ago,
I
I was
remember
in
that.
prison, so
I just know a lot of people that was.
I don't know what was going on here.
Oh my God. So unfortunately her story starts off with sexual abuse
Yeah.
and her Uncle Kenny. And
I was surprised she was still calling him that.
I
It
know.
was almost like driving me crazy that she was still calling him Uncle Kenny. I probably would have dropped that title after that.
Yeah, me too.
Especially getting pregnant. Oh my God. I knew she had a lot of kids, but I didn't know that that's how she had her first one at 13.
I know.
Holy shit.
I know.
Wow. No wonder the girl's the way she is.
Yeah.
Seriously.
Yeah, seriously. I mean, she even says it because she didn't work through that trauma.
Yep. I'm telling you, therapy's it works.
I know. Yeah.
If you have the ability to use it, it works. I still to this day do it.
Yeah.
And I will as long as I need to or as long as I want to because I believe in it wholeheartedly.
Yeah, exactly.
But if you don't have the option, then you don't do it and you turn to drugs because you don't want to think about all that horrible shit, you know? You want to block it out.
I know.
And that's what drugs will do.
Yeah.
And destroy your life in the process.
Exactly. And if you don't have coping skills to deal with stuff, you're just going to turn back to that. And therapy actually gives you the coping skills that you need.
Yes, it does.
So if you don't learn that stuff, your first reaction is going to be
to go get high. Yeah.
Go get high. And unfortunately, Destiny has suffered a loss. This was the guy that she was on the show with, but she actually had a boyfriend named Josh.
Lord, look at this one.
That was killed in prison, apparently. So there's a California State Prison, Los Angeles County officials investigating the death of an incarcerated person as a homicide.
Wow.
How fucked up is this?
Yeah.
Okay, so this is her current boyfriend, and now she is heartbroken, I can imagine.
Yeah.
And I'm actually worried about her sobriety because she probably doesn't have the coping skills.
I don't really think that she was. I don't think. I mean, that was probably filmed a while ago because you noticed that Justine and Michael's second baby wasn't even included.
No.
So.
I think it was filmed like a year and a half ago.
So I'm assuming that was then. So it's hard telling where she is. No.
Hello.
Say hi, everybody.
Say hi.
Hi. Say my name's Addie. You want to tell everybody your name?
Say hi. Wave.
Say I'm Addie.
Hi. Again.
Say how you doing?
Hi.
I'm okay. How are you doing?
This is my door.
What?
All right, say bye-bye.
She's shy.
Say good night.
Bye.
Bye. Good night. See you later, alligator.
Love you.
Back to sleep.
Okay, you going back to sleep? Okay.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Good night.
What do you want?
What?
Just stay over there. Don't mess with my quartz, please.
You come here on this side if you want.
Oh boy.
You hurt her feelings.
I'm sorry.
Oh, no. Bad mommy.
It's all right. I just said don't mess with the cords. You can come over here. She's
You
sensitive.
hurt her feelings.
Come. You want to say hi? You can say.
She's tired.
I know. Somebody's tired. So, Daddy, do you want to tell your stories about Destiny?
Well, what do you want to know? Well, let me see. The one thing that I don't think they filmed it, is I actually revoked her bond.
Oh.
But it was because she left. I knew she was gonna run because she told me, she's like, "Fuck your 50,000. I'm fucking running. I ain't going to fucking prison." And I was like, so I called the bail bondsman and said, "Hey, I think she's gonna run." I was like, "What do I need to do to get off the bond?" So they sent me a form. I filled it out, and I didn't send it in because they said that if I filled it out and they went and picked her up, then they were just going to let her out, and then she would laugh at us because it was during COVID and California wasn't taking nobody unless it was a very like bad,
Violent.
offense. They were not holding anybody.
Okay.
So they would have so then she wouldn't have been on bond. So I was like, no, fuck that. So I just took my chances and I let it go. And then I had to try to figure out where she was. So she got permission behind my back. I didn't even know that when she went to California, she got permission from the pro to know, but they didn't know. The bail bondsman lady didn't really know an address.
Okay.
So I couldn't figure out where she was at. And I knew she had the car, but she sent me some nasty ass messages on a thing saying, "I'm going to burn your fucking car. It's going to come back. I'll have the cartel burn it and it's going to send it to you in pieces." So I was able to report the car stolen.
Oh, okay.
So
See, I didn't know all of this. Okay.
So I reported the car stolen because then when I found it, I didn't want to press charges. Like I just wanted the car back. I wasn't going to do that to her because I already knew she was going back to prison. So all that went through, and then I let it go. But I had to be one step behind her, not ahead of her, because she held the $50,000 over my head. So I had to think that even though I was like a couple steps ahead of her, I had to act like I was behind her so she wouldn't give on. So when she asked for money, I sent her a little bit of money at a time. I never sent her a lot because guess why? She's going to need more money. She's going to call me and say, "Hey, I need some more money." So then that'd be my way to kind of keep track of her where she was at, because until I can get off the bond, that was my only hope to kind of keep her like kind of reined in a little bit, because she told me she was going to run, and she actually did. She actually didn't show up for a court date. So they called me. So I was like, okay, what happens now? They're like, well, if she doesn't turn herself in, or if she doesn't do that, you have 6 months before you have to pay that 50 grand. I was like, no, fuck that. So then I convinced her to go. I said, look, they're not going to keep you. They're just going to slap you on the finger and tell you, hey, don't do it again, and do that. So I convinced her to go to the second court date. Well, I told them, I said, hey, she's going to run. So you got to make it seem like she's not going to prison or she won't come back. Right. So then I think the bail, I told somebody, I don't know who I was talking to, because I thought it was like the bail bondsman. And then one time I was talking to the district attorney because they were looking for her. Okay. So then I was like, hey, so this is what's going on. And so they're like, all right, we got a plan. We're going to make her think she's getting probation. So when she comes, she'll come to court, and then we're going to arrest her. So I knew she was going. So I had to convince her to go to court that day. Right. Because so then they fucked up. So when she went to court, they tried to get another 8 months or something out of her. So then they fucked up. So then they had to make it sound like, oh, well, it was a glitch. So they had to postpone it again. And I'm like, oh. So then after they did that, so they told her like, oh, you're just getting probation, like no big deal. Right. So that way she would come back that third time. Then she went to jail. I knew she was getting to her. She had to do the time. I just had to keep her convinced. So then, because she skipped out on that court date, and even though she turned herself in, and they did release her, I had to pay another $400 to reassume the bond. I was like, I don't want to reassume the bond. I want off. They're like, no, because she has the warrant out, because she did all that, you have to reassume before you can get off. So it cost me another $480 and that I had to pay to reassume the bond to get off of the bond. And then once I was off, I was like, okay, I'm done now. You know what I mean? So it was kind of like that would have been a good part for them to show. And they act like they weren't, interested in that. But that was so I knew she was going back, but I just had to convince her. So everybody was like, oh, you're going to lose that 50 grand. No, I just knew I just had to figure out how to play her. So she thought she was playing me.
Exactly.
But it worked. So because she always had to call me for money, she always did this. But I'd only send her, I only got $20, I only got $30.
Right.
Because I did that purposely for that reason, because I knew she was going to be having to call me back, because I knew she was using again, and I knew she was going to have to call me. She was going to keep wanting more money. So if I send her a bunch, she's not going to call me. You know what I mean? Or that'd be enough for her to run.
That's your way of tracking her, but
Yeah. So everybody thought that I was dumb. I was the dumb one. I'm gonna lose. Nope. I had dumbed myself down a little bit to make her think that, because even though I knew I was already a step ahead of her, the only thing that I didn't know is where she was staying at. And that was when she used my credit card. Mm-hmm. And out of all the times, there was one time that she actually had it delivered. All the rest of them, they told me it was signed by Jason every single time. So he was the one using my card, and it was, so when I called that guy, I had to threaten, when I threatened him and told him, but yeah, so that's how I figured out. So then I told the bail bondsman, I was like, look, here's where she's at. I need you to drive by there and see if my car's there, because they won't let me do nothing because I'm not a local there. Right. And so they had to drive around. I paid like a Lyft driver or something to drive by that address to see if the car was in the parking lot. So after he drove by there, he called me up and says, hey, is this? And he sent me a picture. I said, yep, that's it. So then I knew I had the right address. So then I told the bail bondsman, look, I found her, and they're trying to hire me, to be but I just had to set a little bit of breadcrumbs, and she kept taking them. But eventually I got off, but not after, because she didn't show up for one court date.
Right.
But she just got lucky it was COVID, because I would have. But yeah, it was definitely, COVID saved her, because I signed the papers and everything, and then they warned me like, hey, if you send us in and we pick her up, they're just going to let her out. She's going to laugh at us. She's going to laugh at you, because now she won't have no regulations or anything.
Okay, stop it.
So there's that. And then let me see. I'm trying to think.
Good old Destiny stories.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because she was kind of mean. Like she took a chunk out of my she took a chunk. She bit me. She took a chunk out of my arm one time, and I had to grab her and sit her down and sit on her and say, hey, stop, like, what are you doing? And she turned around and bit me, like took a chunk out of my arm. It was bleeding, everything. Like it was bad. And then I kind of pushed her to leave. Mm-hmm. I knew she was leaving. I kind of said, okay, here, here's some money, Right. Except for I thought that I was going to be able to fly up there and drive my car, but that didn't all happen like that. So then after that, then she got hooked back up, I think, with her friends, as she always did in these gangs. And then all the threats came. Yeah. Like a lot of threats. Like, listen here, you pussy motherfucker. I'm going to, I'm coming up there with my gang friends. We're going to jump your ass and we're going to take everything you have, blah, blah, blah. Because I had 2 bank accounts. So when I knew she was coming there, I opened up a fake checking account. And I only kept a little bit in there because I knew her past crimes. So I was making sure that, so when we talked about all that, about keeping everything in the safe on there, that was true, except for I just did different things. I didn't keep nothing in my house. Everything was, I had a storage unit. I kept everything in my storage unit, because I didn't know, how she was. But yeah, so they didn't show a little bit of everything. And it kind of like, I had to put myself, like I said, the most thing about it was trying to stay ahead of her, but at the same time staying behind her, because I needed to make sure until I was off that bond, because I don't know what I was thinking when I did that bond. I just think I felt obligated, Like it kind of everything going on
Right.
fast. And then when she went to the county, I thought they were just gonna let her out. And then all of a sudden it was like, oh hey, by the way, I got this bar. I was like, really? Like so then it kind of how it happened, you know.
Right.
Because if they would have just let her out from the state, you know.
Abby, stop it.
Right.
Go watch your TV.
So let's clarify, how long did the relationship last, Shawn? Even though you guys were on season after season, in real life, how long did the relationship last?
Not that long, really, because it kind of just drug on, you know. But I'm not sure exactly how long, you know.
Right.
And I don't know what I'm allowed to say because I'm still technically under contract.
It wasn't as long as they made it seem.
But it wasn't.
I mean, she did keep contacting him, harassing him, basically wanting money.
Come on.
Right.
And, you know, that whole thing. And so she was more of an irritation because he was all the way here anyway by that point.
Exactly.
I want to say I got out 6 months after her.
Right.
So if that
But
tells
just
you
because
anything.
of the filming, it kind of.
There you go.
But yeah, they're all right. That's enough, baby.
Hey,
Down.
I see you.
She gets it going. She's doing her nightly
Where she keeps
power
herself
run.
awake. Yeah, she'll
She's
know.
overly tired, and since I'm not in bed with her, because she's a spoiled little punk and she sleeps, he has to fall asleep in our bed.
Yes.
You know,
Yes. All right.
I'm trying to think
I mean,
what else.
she was definitely. I mean, she got into it with you a couple times. She really did steal your car and stuff, like all that stuff. Was real.
Everything that we had was everything pretty much was real on the everything.
She was crazy enough that nothing needed to be dramatized because she was already
she was
that
a handful.
nuts.
I realized I fucked up when she got out.
Right.
And I think my look showed it all when she got out and got released because I knew.
Because didn't you get a phone call from somebody?
Yeah,
one of her.
Oh yeah,
friends?
somebody called me and warned me. Yeah, it was been.
Before she even got out, one of her friends somehow got his number and called and was like, "Hey, she's not who you think she is."
Right. Be prepared because she's gonna run the minute she gets out, and it was going to be. Now, whether or not the show knew that part of it, because I don't know what they knew. I only knew what I know, and you know, like probably you guys know that when we're doing separate scenes, we don't know what the other person's doing until it airs, or unless the other person says. We don't know it, you know. That's why a lot of people, I think a lot of these people on the show, they get mad when they see it aired because they don't know that.
I've gotten mad before.
Yeah.
Like, you said that, or you know, whatever. Like, are you kidding me? Like, there's been a few times even I've gotten upset because it's like, dude, seriously?
Right.
Okay. Lay down. All right. You can sit right here.
Okay. Relax, okay?
Don't worry. We're almost done. I'll let mommy and daddy go soon. Don't worry.
So I just been working all day, so it's sometimes still kind of tired, but
I feel you.
Right, yeah.
I don't know if anything else you want to know or anything anybody
else? No, just like any other tea that like didn't air or anything you think that like the fans should know.
Hey, so the money that she's talking about, that was another big thing. I think people still message me or make comments about the money that she claims I owe her.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I don't owe her nothing. So we were at the casino. She won 14 grand at the fucking casino. Okay. And I was like, are you shitting me? So she pushed me out of the way and I had to claim it because of the whole, she didn't have an ID.
Right.
And we only put in like $20. I was actually surprised. I was like, this fucking lucky bitch. And so she wanted all right. I was like, no, fuck that. Let's get the hell out of here. Everybody's watching us. You know, like she just all wants to divvy up. So we had a deal that we would split it. Well, she took like 12 grand back and then tried to say that it was all her, like, and then the money I spent was like, I'm like, no, that's not how it goes. And I got stuck with the taxes on it. I think the taxes were like fucking almost 5 grand. So like I got the money that she says I don't owe her. She just thinks that I owe her. And as far as when the show came out, I split it with her, and I was probably one of the only people that did that. And I was done. So when I got paid, because the inmate didn't get paid, but I made a deal with her that, hey, you know what? But I did it because, quite frankly, I was kind of scared of her. Like I was kind of, you know what I mean? So
At least you're honest. I mean,
I mean, it's kind of like if you went through the shit that I went through, and you know,
right.
she might have been short, but she was very feisty. But I split it with her. In fact, she used to tell production, "Oh, he's not split," and I showed proof that I was splitting it with her. We don't have to split it; it's our money.
Yeah.
I'm the one that's got to pay the taxes on it, anyways. But
Exactly.
I split it with her because they're in love. When it's on life,
The
then
inmates get paid
everybody
too.
gets paid.
Inmates get paid. Yep.
But
That's why I never.
but
would
I
have
always
done
so the
love.
money that she says that I don't know where this is coming from, and the car that she thinks that
Entitlement.
she didn't buy that car. I bought the fucking car with my money because she took all the money back. So like I.
Entitlement.
But
Exactly.
anyways, that was another big thing was the money thing.
Yeah,
I'm trying to think.
That's what she called and threatened him over for the longest time, was over money, and I think it was just trying to scare him into sending her money because she
knew how I was before, but I didn't have to worry about it because she wasn't on my bond anymore. Like I didn't care.
Right.
But before
Exactly.
I kind of let it go a little bit. You know what I mean? So
Right.
but yeah, she did win that 14 grand
that
on
wasn't
the
on there
damn
either.
slot machine
Yeah,
too.
that
She put
wasn't on there.
$20 in. I think she did hit it twice and it hit.
Damn. Why can't I have that kind of
I
luck?
know,
I
right?
know. Listen, that's what I said. Fucking lucky bitch.
Oh my
But-
god.
But she said we'll split it. I paid for it. It was my money anyway. She didn't have no money. And then she took it all back and she just kept taking. So I just said, here, just have the fucking money. Because I was like, I'm not playing this game. You know what I mean? So, and the fact that she keeps saying I owe her money, like I don't know what that comes because of the car. I know it is, but if she remembers that she took all the money from the casino and not only that, I was making payments on that car. It wasn't even a car like that. Like it wasn't even paid for, you know?
Right.
And then I had to have my sister.
Right.
I had to have my sister and my mom go get the car from the tow company because I couldn't get up there to get it. And my mom lives about 2 hours from there. So I had to convince my mom and my sister Tina to go get the car. And then I had to send all these paperwork to my mom that had insurance because my mom wouldn't drive it. So I was like, look, it has insurance. It has everything. So I had to send her a power attorney or she wouldn't drive the car. So then my mom took it to her house. And then whenever I got a chance, I flew back there. I flew back to see my mom. I brought the car. But yeah, that was kind of yeah, my mom was mad. She was like, I don't know, because she works, you know? So it's like, and then having her and my sister go get it at the tow company. What are they going to ask me? What are they going to do? I was like, why don't you call them ahead of time and say, hey, I'm picking up my son's car. So I'm trying to think. I don't know too much. I don't know anything. There's so much shit that happened. I don't even know.
It's been some years now.
Right. I know.
I just think I still get about the money thing a lot. Like people still message me about the money thing. Or
Right.
still
I
comment
can't
about
even
that.
believe people would even believe anything that comes out.
I think
of
it's
their
Aaron
mouth.
again somewhere because I'm getting a lot more messages and a lot more comments. So I think it's Aaron
on
somewhere else again.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, that makes sense. Like I got a whole bunch more fault. Like it's just crazy how people
Yeah.
think it's like, whoa, wait, that done happened a long time ago. Like, you know. So, but yeah, the money thing, and then trying to think. But yeah, I think that was the biggest thing, and then the bond. But that was because I had no choice.
Right.
You know, after I already did it, so I didn't want to. The thing I was more mad about on that whole bond is I had to pay to get off of it, and I was mad about that. But that was
I
because
would have been mad about that too.
but that's because she skipped out and she really wasn't going. She told me over her dead fucking body she was gonna go. Like she goes, I'm gonna fuck your $50,000. I'm leaving. I'm not gonna fucking go. Like I'm gonna run. And I'm like, no, you can't. Like just trying to just go. Like they're not gonna do nothing. It's COVID. They ain't gonna lock you up.
Right.
And so they made her believe that, and I can't believe she fell for that. Mrs. Career criminal.
Right. Master career criminal.
Yeah.
Right.
But yeah, that was kind of all went down. Like that's how all that went down.
Right.
But yeah, it was kind of that would have been.
I think you end up having to change your number, right?
Yeah, I changed my number. So I had my house was a smart house, so you can unlock everything with the app.
Okay.
So I had to turn it off because she kept threatening to come back and robbing me or whatever. So I had to turn off all my apps on the thing. I unplugged the wireless, the internet. Yeah, because she put guys on the phone. We're gonna come whoop your ass. We're gonna fucking steal everything you got. Just wait. You won't be able to sleep at night. That's how she was. Like she was fucking mean. Like she would just do it on the phone. I like almost. And when I saved all the messages and I was able to report the car stolen because of that. just because of the messages, because then that was intent for her not to bring it back. So even though I gave her the keys and gave her permission, because she sent those messages to me, and it clearly states she wasn't bringing it back, that was intent. That was enough for me to report it stolen. But she never got pulled over. She never got anything. Like, I couldn't believe it. Like, I was like, man, like, I could not believe, like, she stayed for like a while. Like, she put like 50,000 miles on that car.
Damn.
Yeah, that's what I said, man. I was like, damn.
She must have been making runs.
Right?
But she put a lot of miles on that car.
Was it
But
the white one?
no, it was the black one. Or
Really?
the green one, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Oh, wow.
So.
Wow.
But
I
yeah.
always thought it was the white one.
But yeah, so yeah, but I knew she was going to get locked up, but I couldn't believe that they played it out as much as she did, and they made her think that I knew she was going to get, but I couldn't say nothing. Right. I knew they were going to lock her up, but they had to make her believe that because they knew she was going to run. Mm-hmm. And she told me she was going to run. I told them she was going to run. I'm like, look, I want off this bond. She's going to run. And I said, I got messages saying that. And I was like, I don't usually do this no way, but I don't want to be responsible for $50,000. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah, I don't fucking blame.
Then they convinced me to stay on the bond. The bondsman, they said, they're like, no, because then she'll be let free.
I probably wouldn't have gave a fuck. Free or not free, at least I'm free.
Exactly.
Who cares if she laughs in my face? I'm done with it.
Yeah, but I didn't want to get the last. I wanted to have the last laugh.
Well, that's your pride or something, because I would have been like, sayonara.
That's the only thing I had. The only thing I had to be able to hold over her was that.
Well, yeah. I mean, I guess
So
I kind of get that.
That was how I redeemed myself in my head for all the stupid decisions I did.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So, if you guys can think of anything else, I mean,
not really. She was crazy, but we're free of her now.
Yes.
Thank God.
Thank God. Long distant memory.
Thank goodness. Because, yeah, I mean, she was more of a nightmare for him than me, but I felt him, you know.
Did you ever talk to her besides what we saw
on the show? No, that was the first time.
That was
first and only, right?
The show meddling.
Sneaky, yeah.
I basically got set up for that.
God.
Of course. But I mean, I wasn't mad about it because she put him through hell for no reason and all the threats and shit. And, you know, he actually didn't tell me for a while. He ended up admitting it to me later. And, because, you know, I would have flipped the fuck out.
Yeah, I know.
And it was basically, she just wanted money. She just wanted money. And honestly, I think, like, she didn't, like, she might have looked me up or something, but she never really, like, attacked me or anything.
Right.
It was mostly trying to get money out of him. She didn't give a fuck whether he was with me or whoever. It just was money. So, yeah, they just wanted that for, I guess, basically that was just to end her because she was just unnecessarily keep getting involved. I'm pretty sure she probably begged him.
Yeah.
Please, I need the money. You know what I mean? That's just about the only thing that I can think of. And, you know, she really was aggravating him. So, I mean.
Yeah, all the time. Like, I don't have a Facebook.
Right.
Because somebody from India or something wanted it more than I wanted it or something. I can't even get back because even if you do the factor on it is all foreign people that I don't even know. So I gave up. I lost that like 2010. So I don't even have that. So all I have is Instagram. So I just kind of like, you know.
But she's blocked on there.
But I block her on anything.
And his number's been changed.
And then my number, I had to change it. And then she find out. Then I had to change it again. Like I think she had my phone hacked. Because every time I was talking to the bail bondsman about what I was doing, she would call the bail bondsman and say the same thing. So to where they called me and said, "Hey, I think she hacked your phone," because it's funny because what we were just talking about, she just called me and said, you know, that's not how things are. You know what I mean?
Right.
So it was kind of weird. So I think she hacked my email, everything. So I changed everything on that whole thing because I didn't know what she did with the computer while she was there. You know, I don't know. You know, a lot of that stuff, like it was pretty bad for me. Like I was pretty stressed out, you know, for a while just because I was.
I mean, you see how skinny he was when he first met me.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because,
right.
Yeah. Just because of all the threats, you know, and I knew her past, and all her gang people that were, messaging me and all this other stuff. And I don't know if she would go along with it, but it wasn't that far of a drive, from Vegas to where she was at, to where they couldn't just show up in the middle of the night. Like, I don't know, it was probably more of a scare tactic, but I just kind of watched my back everywhere I go. I hated it. Like, I hated my life. Like, when I found out she was getting out, I did everything I could just to come here, just to leave that life behind, because it was rough.
Yeah.
Like, they don't show you all that stuff, but she was really something else,
Way worse than what was shown.
To get her way.
So
And I think it was just the drugs, like, made her evil and just made her, you know what I mean? So I just kind of, ignored it, just let it go. And when she wanted to go, I was like, here, I couldn't push her out fast enough, because that was my break. And then I'd worry about, the car and all that. Like, then I didn't know it was going to turn in the way it turned out. You know what I mean? Like, about the car and all this. So, but it is what it is. I'm done with that chapter. I didn't lose nothing. I got, my money back, or I didn't, have to pay for the bond or whatever. And at the end, she, had to finish her term. So
yeah,
it was just something that,
Right.
worked out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
But at least we know why she's the way she is now, I guess.
exactly, right? At least we know her backstory. So,
Man.
It's pretty sad.
Yeah, it is. It was sad.
Like, you just, and you just don't realize the other side of what people go through.
right.
You just want to so judge a criminal all the time and not realize what got him there,
Yeah.
Right.
And I think that, my whole family's like that. Not my whole family, but most of my family. So,
Okay, Susan wants to know, do you guys think that she's straight?
I want to say no,
No.
just because when I know her, she gains weight. Like, she's always
Yep.
tells me that when she's clean, Destiny, she told me that out of her own mouth, that
You can
you
tell.
could tell that when I gain weight when I'm clean, is what she told me.
You could see even in the filming, because all the filming's not done at one time. It's they come out every couple of months when things happen and things like that. You could tell when she first did the first little bit with Shawn, she was regular, and then the very next time they came back, it's like she went from being not fat but thick to just flat out skinny, and you could see it, like how much of a difference. And it's like, whoa. Even her confessional, they want you to look the same and all that, and then the weight, like, it's like mind-blowing. Well, thank you. Appreciate that.
Of course you are. So, I don't know. It's late. I'm tired. Unless you guys have any.
Yeah, we're tired too. I'm pretty
I've
sure
been
she just passed out on
working all
his
day.
lap.
She passed out on his lap.
Yeah, she has to be touching somebody. She's
Yeah.
sleeping. It's a real problem. We're kind of hoping she
It
gets
kind
out
of
of
worked
that.
backwards. Like, we try to make sure she wasn't, that
Never
kid.
slept in the bed as a baby.
And now she's
Nothing
just,
like that. She's getting all of that now. It sucks. She
It'll
kicked you in
be
the
okay.
head.
Yeah, it'll be okay.
He literally sleeps on his head. Like, I don't know how he does it. Like, seriously.
She'll wrap around like a U around the top of my head. If I move, then she's up trying to look for me.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
We get up early to go to work, and she's like,
Then it's on me.
I try to be quiet just so I don't wake her up, because I know that once the baby's up, she's up. Because she'll fight tooth and nail. She'll act like she's not tired. She'll run around. She'll wake herself back up as soon as she knows she's falling asleep.
Shake, you
Yeah,
know what I mean?
You just see her shaking, like, what is she doing? She's trying to wake herself
Trying to wake
up.
herself up. If you're not in that bed with her, she ain't going to sleep. If she's not touching you, one of us, she's not going to sleep.
Not going to sleep.
Not happening. But
The one thing we didn't want to happen happened.
yeah,
Well,
It just backwards, like it didn't
it's
happen.
so weird. Been
like
like the last couple months.
She's been sleeping in her own bed all the time, and it's like,
Even as a baby, like, it's so weird. I was like, no, sleeping in the bed, no. First, it's dangerous when they're little, especially.
exactly. But
Like babies and stuff. But I don't know how it happened. I just don't even know. It used to be she would kind of fall asleep on our bed watching TV, and then we'd put her in her bed and she would stay.
right.
Now we still do that, but an hour later,
she gets in your bed.
Going right back.
You heard the house like, oh my gosh.
And now it's monsters now all of a sudden.
Yeah,
Under the bed.
The monsters under the bed. Oh my God. I'm like, what? Where did you hear that? Because I'm so.
What movie you were watching?
You left it on. Larry. Fucking Larry.
Fucking
This
Larry.
crazy ass sci-fi movie. And it's a good movie, but
She got into it and the baby's sitting next to her. Now she's thinking
and
monsters.
she
under the
was
bed.
into it. She's like, oh, it's a monster. You know, she was all cool about it then now she's like under the bed with the flashlight. I'm like, monsters aren't real. Like, oh my God, I had no idea Larry was gonna have this kind of reaction.
Right? Oh my
It's fake. It's a show. It's not real, you know?
right.
Flashlight. Mommy, I need my flashlight. She won't walk without the light on now. I'm like, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? How did this? Why? I had no
It's a
idea.
show.
And I don't even watch TV is the messed up part. He had been watching it, left on a job. I came in. It's the movie we had watched together before. So I
Right.
was like, oh, this is a good movie. And I'm watching it. And here she comes, pitter pattering, sees it. And she didn't act scared. She didn't hide her eyes, nothing. She was into it. I thought, well, I mean, okay.
Yeah,
She's not
okay.
scared. Why not?
Right.
Well, that was a mistake. I know now.
Cocomelon it is.
Yeah.
Coco Melon.
Yeah, or Baby Shark or
Right, exactly.
avocado something. Some little avocado dude she watches.
Oh, the
on
avocado
YouTube.
dude. Oh my God.
Yeah, it's like little avocado cartoons or something. I don't know if she's been watching that lately. I have no idea. And she's obsessed with dinosaurs. So that's another reason that I didn't think, you know what I mean? Like she loves dinosaurs more than anything in the world. That is her top favorite. She'll watch, whether it's real, cartoon, doesn't matter. She loves them. So I thought, well, that's not really that different. It was a creepy little, you know, monster thing. And I'm thinking if she's not afraid of dinosaurs, why would she be afraid of that? Well, she is.
Yeah, she is.
Fucking Larry.
She is. Oh well, freaking Larry.
Yeah. So stupid. Oh my God.
All right.
All right.
All right, guys. Thank you so much. Thank you, Shawn, for joining us.
Yep, for sure.
And thank you guys for joining us in the chat. And yeah.
I don't see the comments ever, so you know, I suck.
She's 3, Addie. The baby.
Yeah.
3. Yep.
Yep, she's 3. Just turned 3, December 27th.
Yes.
2 days after Christmas.
Yes. And mommy's
That's another thing that's a gut punch.
and mommy's not looking forward to her going to school anytime soon.
No,
No.
be devastated. I want her to stay the same age.
Actually, she might do pretty good. 'Cause
She
good.
loves
She
the
does-
school bus, and
She does good.
she
when we're
loves
out in
learning
public.
and stuff, and she
Right.
loves people.
And she has that big personality. So I think
Very big.
that's
I'm gonna get a lot of calls, no doubt.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I'll be lucky if they keep her.
yeah.
I'll be like, yeah, I'll come get her. I'll come get her. What'd she say? A bad word? What?
Right. Right.
No,
What
not
she
my
do?
baby.
Not that a little boy. No, not my baby.
Right. Yep.
All
Yeah.
right, guys. Thanks so
Okay.
much. Have a good
Okay.
night.
Alrighty.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.